Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Complete Football Africa. Today, our topic is what is really, what is currently wrong with Kaizer Chiefs? What can they do to improve this team? Is this team really a championship competing team? Are they really as big as they are called in the continent as well? Or is Chiefs slowly dilapidating into a shell of ever in the shell of its former self? So, Sehodi, what your thoughts? What's your thoughts on this Kaizer Chiefs squad? Is it really living up to what it can be, or has Chiefs made questionable signings towards what they want to build?
No, from what I've seen is Kaizer Chiefs has made the good signings. They've got the players to even win the Confederations Cup. The only thing that I see that they haven't really figured it out, it's how to play away from home. Because if you look at their squad, it's as good as any other team in South Africa, but they haven't completely find their rhythm of play, how to play away, how to play at home. They just go with the flow, if I can say. Because if you can look at their game at Dobsonville, they played a very good game. And then going to Egypt, yes, they played well, but they were not that tactically good. That's what I'm thinking now.
Yeah, so I totally agree with what you're saying. They haven't been clinical in the ways they when they play away. And that's what happens when you are strived of football in the continent for so long. You end up not being able to understand and feel that pressure of playing. Because you remember the squad that played in the Champions League final in 2021 is almost totally different from the squad they have now. Some of these players, as much as they say that some of them have experience in the continent, but they were surrounded by people with the same like-mindedness. Now it's only these few players in the Kaizer Chiefs squad that have really the experience in the CAF Confederation League. And I want to ask you this question: is Kaizer Chiefs problems, do they date back to the time where Stuart Baxter passed the torch to Steve Compella? Did Steve Compella do questionable signings, or did he not build on the squad that Stuart Baxter has left? Because people are saying that the Stuart Baxter squad that he left was already old players. When Compella came in, he was supposed to integrate the new players into the new squad, and Chiefs players, the good players, started leaving one by one. And that Compella era wasn't as bad as people thought. We chased him away thinking that he's a bad coach, but when you look at his records during that league season, you find out that actually he was more of a draw master than a losing master. And now Chiefs, the previous season wasn't doing as well as they are, but this season it looks well. But now the question is, can they sustain it? So take me back to where these problems started for Chiefs when you talk about holistically Chiefs as a whole team and its history.
All right, now the problem started when Baxter left Kaizer Chiefs. Even though you can't blame everything on that time, like it's been a long time Baxter has left Kaizer Chiefs. But what happened during that time is Baxter had a real good squad that can win anything. But the problem came with they never planned for what's going to happen when those players that they're having don't have the desire anymore to win things. Like what Pirates is doing now. If you look at Orlando Pirates, last year they had a very good squad. This year they renewed the squad to have more fire, more competition in the team. That's why you see them performing on that level. Because like sometimes if players wins trophies, they don't have any things to win at all. All they're looking for is to make money, and then they're looking at their
Mm.
retirement. They don't have the same fire that they had the year before. So that's what happened. Then after that, Kaizer Chiefs started doing what we call, they wanted to solve a long run uh, uh, solution with one day
Quick. Mm.
microwave stuff. They wanted to just put the squad in the microwave and then it's cooked, it's well
Yes.
done. They can do anything. That's why they struggled for so long. Because if you see, they've been hiring coach looking for results now without having a system. But if I look at the Chiefs that we see now, the Chiefs that we see now, they have the right, they have the players, they they are balanced everywhere. If you can see up front, they have the Nigerian striker Igaoro. He can hold up the
Mm.
ball. They've got lots of wingers. They've got lots of wingers that can even where Igaoro can hold the ball for them and then wait for the wingers and then he connects with them and all that. But they are not playing uh, according to their strength. You see, so what I'm
Yes.
saying is they haven't found yet the proper formula and the proper way of playing. Because sometimes you see them playing from the back, they building very nice, they opening teams up. Like I liked their game at Dobsonville. They were playing the proper Kaiser Chiefs, a game where they open and they also lethal. They were lethal in front of goal. But now you don't know what they are playing. To be honest, like sometimes you like them, sometimes they've gone down.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
game they played at Egypt, I was not
Yeah.
impressed that much because they didn't have a system to play. Because they could have catch that team on a counter attack. They stay compact at the back. They catch the team on the counter attack. So uh, for now, we'll just see.
All right. All right. Yeah, I agree with you. This team is they are in a transition. They're in the transition period where they're trying to figure themselves out. So in them figuring themselves out, my question always that runs on my mind is that does Kaizer Chiefs need to give up on the idea that they are a position-based team? Looking at the players they have, I see Chiefs more of a transition team. And I'll go back to the Baxter era. Chiefs wasn't really a position-based team. Baxter didn't believe in possession. Chiefs was a team that played what you call it, that played in transition. That team was very good in transition with the likes of Shabalalas, the George Libisis, you get what I'm saying? The players they had at the time, they were very good in transition. And also, when you look at the structures that are at Kaizer Chiefs, the DDC, the coach implements a position based, right? Position based play. And you see that it works. But now, is the DDC producing for a system that is already at the senior team? Or is there a miscommunication there where the team, the management of the team isn't recruiting based on the whole process that is needed to develop these players and come play them for example, you find players that are very good positionally, can hold up the ball, can slow down the game, press, pass, whatever, play those short passes. But then you come to a Kaiser Chiefs first team where you are needed to make quick decisions where you're like, when you get the ball now, you need to pass quickly. You need to pass to someone because we are playing on a transition. The middle field is almost not there. And now you find a Kaiser Chiefs where they work best when you press them and they get out of those presses and they uh, keep you on the counter attack or during set pieces when they get out of that set piece situation and they keep you on the counter. But when you sit back and you allow them to have possession, that's when you realize that this team isn't really good in possession. They are more of a transition. They know how to play if you play a mid block. If I can say so. Do you agree with what I'm saying?
No, I get what you're saying, but for Kaiser Chiefs not to be a position-based team, it's an insult because from long time ago, that since we've known Kaiser Chiefs, they're a team that plays football. They're a team that plays beautiful football that we all like the South Africa, like
Mhm.
the three clubs of South Africa, like your Sundowns, your Pirates, and Kaiser Chiefs should be dominating position because that's their strength. Those boys are not good in defending. Like they don't like defending at all. They are very good
Yeah.
on playing the ball. So when they hired Nabi, they thought he'll bring them back to their identity of playing their position football. But it didn't work because they also wanted result as well. So it takes time to build a team to be a real position team. As you look at Pirates, the coach that they have now found Jose Rivero already put Orlando Pirates on a system like Sundowns. Cardozo already found a system that is working. So all you have to do is just to close some gaps there and there. So now Chiefs, the system is not yet up there, and the guys that are there now, they're just looking for a win by any means because they're not actually looking to build up Chiefs to be the team that we all love, we all liked in the days of Dr. Kumalo, Teenage Jaja. They're not taking Chiefs there. So uh, they're just looking for results. That's all. That's what Chiefs is now. They're just smiling for results.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you, definitely, and that leads to, Chiefs have lost their club identity. They've lost the flair, the confidence, the winning mentality, and the big personalities in the team. Chiefs doesn't really have those big personalities. They have now Boca and Sereno, but their mentalities are not the ones that I typically like, especially on the pitch. He's very aggressive, gets angry quickly, but one thing about a team like Kaizer Chiefs and all the big teams in South Africa is that, for you to play for those teams, you need to have a big personality. You need to have a big mentality in the way you carry yourself in the team, because the crowd will eat you up. The badge will eat you up if you're not up to par. As we said in the beginning, some of these players, when they come, they think it's now holiday, at Naturena. They see the facilities, they see the chefs, they see everything. They think that here we have made it. It's the final step. I can come here and eat my money. Even if they chase me out, I'll be secure. I'll find another club. So yeah, I hear what you're saying. They need to uh, get back to where they used to be. My reasoning for that question was: is it perhaps one of those times where Chiefs should change the way they want to play because of the talent, the people they have in the squad? Is that the type of players they've been recruiting in the past 5 6 years, where you realize that these players are not position based players. They're not players who are good, who are they're average. Most of them are average players, and they play a one route type of football. It's not a team that can keep the ball. But we've seen earlier this season that they have the abilities, just that they need to tweak uh, every now and the youth squad needs to be more developed, because sometimes in South African football we tend to go to these things where we want our players to be as good as the European players, but then we realize that the development for those players is not the same as ours. We want a Igodar, we want a police, we want Chavalala to always make the right decisions in the final third, but then we forget that in in Europe, these things are systematic. The player already has an idea in his mind already what to do. These players, when they get into the box, sometimes they go off a whiff. You understand what I'm saying? So, what
Yeah.
do you agree with what I'm saying is that the reason why sometimes we over expect from these players is because we've seen what the standard is in Europe, and we tend to push these narratives on these players that how can you make such a decision? But when we forget that some of these players are underdeveloped, some of them don't even know how to first touch properly. We've seen a couple of players whose first touch is absolutely horrible, and you ask yourself, this player is a professional player, but his first touch is like he's playing in the dirt. I understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I really get what you're saying. That maybe sometimes we do expect a lot from these guys. Well, they didn't have a proper development. But also, what I can say is South African football is improving. If you can look at the two teams like Orlando Pirates, Sundowns, uh, you look at those players, they are not that far from the players that you see in Europe, you see in other big leagues. Now, the problem for me, the problem with Kaizer Chiefs is the system. They don't have the system of play. Like I can't say the players are not serious. They are serious. You can see those boys. They want to work hard, but the problem is uh, whatever they have there, it doesn't make their job easy because their system is not yet mastered. If I can say, we don't see the pattern of play. You see these boys playing against Sundowns, they give it all their all. Sometimes you might even feel like they should have won the game. But because their system is not yet mastered, that's why you see them struggling. I don't see them that far from the other teams, but it's just that they've not yet mastered uh, their system. The players, they do have players, because remember, all these players are like the same player. You're like your Duprees, your 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 Pirates players. These boys, they all have the same talent. It's just that when you go to a place where the system is not working, it becomes bit harder for you to really show up, because sometimes it's the team that makes you to look good.
I agree. And to close it off quickly, I want us to touch on what do you think of Chiefs making youngsters? And you believe that these youngsters at Kaizer Chiefs carry a higher responsibility than their fellow youngsters in the league? For example, I can make an example of Mufukeng, Nkota, what you call that boy? I forgot his name. Tens, I forgot his name. From Orlando Pirates. Uh,
Yeah.
do you think these players from Kaizer Chiefs carry a higher responsibility? And it's actually amazing to see them rise up to the occasion, sometimes better than the senior players.
No, like the young boys, like the talent that they have at Chiefs, the talent that they have at Sundowns, the talent that they have at Orlando Pirates DDC. It's the same boys. They need to
Mm,
go into a system that is working. Like if you take a youngster, he has to be like guided by the elders, isn't it? So that he can shine. They need to protect
yeah,
him. They need to lift him up to achieve to his highest potential. So now get the first team working. The DDC, the system is already working there. Those boys have
yeah.
no problem. They are ready to be promoted to the first team. They're doing so well.
Hmm.
We can even watch their game now when they play Manchester
Yes,
United.
Manchester
You will
United.
see
Yeah,
that uh, their system is working in the DDC. And then senior level, they just have to master that. And then now you'll be able to integrate this youngster to come into the senior team very, very easy. They will also excel as the youngsters we see at Pirates. Just like Sundowns is having a problem, they don't integrate the youngsters. They are looking to like buy success now. So
yeah,
they're gonna have
yeah,
a
yeah.
problem in the long run,
Yeah, definitely.
because
I
they're
agree
gonna lose
with you.
their identity of Mamelodi football.
They
Just
would,
like
yeah, they will slowly lose their identity, where they play into systems that they have not been taught. When you come to DDC, you're taught this, then you come into a senior team. Now the system is different. Then you understand, because the chopping and changing of coaches creates that type of a turmoil in the team, where there's no consistency in the style of play. I mean, under Vela Kumalo, you play this type of football, and then your Vela Kumalo teaches you how to play for maybe Nabi's team, right? Then by the time you get promoted, you find that you're in a Khalil Ben Yusuf squad, or you're in a Rulani Mokoena squad, whatever that may be. So in final thought, when you look at this Kaiser Chiefs squad and the projection that they have for the next 2 to 3 years, if the management really starts to step up and back coaches more than ever, so we need to remind ourselves that as much as it is a club's a fans team, we need to also understand as fans that football has evolved. And if you were a big dog back in the day, sometimes it's okay not to be that big dog. Focus on rebuilding your squad, and then we will praise you once you've gotten back to your feet. Your final thoughts, please.
no, yeah, absolutely. No, I agree with you that Chiefs needs to do something very. They need to find your Dr. Kumalo in the DDC, find your Ace Kuse in the DDC, and then put them in the senior team. That's when they're gonna have the identity. They do have the players. Those players are there. They're
Maybe,
always
yeah,
there.
and
You'll
also
always
maybe a
produce your
Kuse.
Dr. Kumalo, your Temba Zwane, your Tebo Homolo in the Orlando Pirates, your Steve Luke.
Yes.
You'll always produce those players. The only thing is just get them there and then make sure that you integrate them nicely in the senior team. Because I see this boy Villagas is already uh, like doing well in the
It's
senior
giving
team.
ace. It's giving
Like getting there.
an
Yes.
ace type of flair into the team. We need big
Yeah,
characters in that team, but a player who's not just gonna play for the team, also is gonna also play for the fans. As much as we are football players, we also are supposed to entertain these fans. As much as other people will disagree with the style of the way he likes to, express himself on the field. But yeah, at the end of the day, this Kaizer Chiefs team needs to step up. They need to really understand who they are. As Kevin Johnson said once, is that in the DDC team, what he wanted to do is wanted to show them clips of the old Kaizer Chiefs. Sit down in the team discussion, team meetings, and say, you see who look who's that, look who's that. You see who that player is. You see how he carried himself in the team. Give these players homework. I also believe sometimes the home players should be also be given homework. It's not always up to the technical team to do everything. These players need to be also be integrated into the technical side of football, that they understand how football is. If you look at players in the Serie A, they will tell you how technical it is. They will give you stats. These players also. So yeah, at the end of the day, Chiefs needs to just get back to where they were, but at the same time, they do not owe anyone quick success. They need to understand that they need to really understand that it's a process, and the fans need to understand it's a process, and the fans have been relatively patient, and I like it. For a change, we went through a whole year, maybe 2.5 years, with a coach that we believed in. Unfortunately, things didn't work out the way we wanted it to work out, but the assistants are still here. They're doing a great job. Chiefs just needs to get back to winning ways. If not winning ways, at least lose attract in an attractive manner. We see that you are trying when you lose. So, ladies and gentlemen, it has been me, TK, and Sukhodi with another show of Complete Football. Today's topic was Kaiser Chiefs. What is this current Kaiser Chiefs, and where can they go in the next couple of years? It's been a good show. Thank you.
thank you.